Hey guys, it's 8-Bit Eric. I'm back. Today we're going to talk about Beach Buggy Racing, a kart racing game, I guess inspired, maybe even a chip off the old block of Mario Kart. And it's the only kart racing game available on the Nintendo Switch. Looks pretty wacky, cartoony, maybe it's pretty good. Let's go ahead and find out in today's review of Beach Buggy Racing. So Beach Buggy Racing, as I mentioned, is a kart racing game. I guess in the same vein of Mario Kart 8, it is a actual mobile port, believe it or not. This actually was previously on mobile. Now it's actually cross-platform wide. I believe it's also on PS4 and Xbox. It's also on the Nintendo Switch. Does it hold up as good as the other versions? Is it even good to begin with? I never really heard of this game. It is a beach-themed racing game, and that seems pretty unique. Right from the first impressions, it seems promising. The graphics are very cartoony. There's about 6 racers that you can play as. Each one has their own special abilities and different skills. There's customizable cars. Looks like there's a good amount of content. Unfortunately, since it was from a mobile game, there's a lot of unlocking to do, but luckily there's no microtransactions that a microtransaction mobile game would have. That's a lot of microtransaction. You unlock additional stuff by completing through the races. Most of your time in this game will be spent in the single player campaign mode, which features a variety of cups that have actually a good amount of races in them, and not just regular standard racers. There's different types of modes. Of course, the standard race, you go through a lap or 2 or 3 and you try to win by having first place. You get ranked based on stars, on how good you do. The more stars you get, the quicker it is to unlock the next path or the next set of levels. In addition to that, there's other types of modes, such as a elimination mode, where the person that is last every 15 seconds gets eliminated from the race. Switches things up a little bit, and it makes things a little bit chaotic. There's even boss type of modes where it's you 1v1 the character at the end of the whole circuit. If you win, you unlock that character. There's a shooting gallery mode where while you're driving, you have to shoot at certain targets. And there's all sorts of other modes that I can't even think of off the top of my head. Right away, that does sound pretty impressive, considering that Mario Kart really doesn't have a variety of different options. But, you know, it's still Mario Kart. This is a low-budget indie game, but they did the best that they could work with. I mean, it's $9.99, so that tells you the difference between a $59.99 racing game and a $9.99 racing game. The fact that there's a good variety of customization options, match types, there's more than just regular racing, that says that they did put some effort into it. One major downside is there's no online multiplayer. That's one thing that this game lacks. No true battle mode, things of that nature. But to talk a little bit more about it, you gotta think, okay, this was a mobile game. It must not control well. Well, to be quite honest, it's quite easy to pick up and play. It plays okay, especially the transition from playing on a screen like this and using a controller. I play with the Pro controller. Handheld mode, it's not too bad either, but the way to go with a lot of these mobile games is with a Pro controller, and for the most part, it basically works. There's no fancy tight controlling advanced techniques like in Mario Kart. You can't really drift. There's no jumps, and it's not like you're sliding all over the place when you turn. Could be a little bit better. It's not too loose. It's average. This game basically makes you rely on what items you get, which it does use the item system just like in Mario Kart, where you get random items in order to gain the advantage. I did realize that the AI is actually a little bit tricky. A lot of times it kind of rubber bands to where they're able to catch up. And I've noticed, especially in the 1v1s with bosses, I get my butt handed to me quite a bit. But this game is not bad at all, actually. It does seem a little bit like shovelware, the way it looks, and it is repetitive because you rotate through the levels over and over, and you'll see the same locations a lot. And in fact, it might seem like there's too many circuits and different kinds of races and stuff that you have to do in each cup. You're going to be playing a lot, like hundreds of races in this game. It has a good amount of content, is basically what I'm trying to say. They put a good amount of effort into a low-budget game when they really didn't have to. They could have phoned it in. So you gotta applaud the developers of this game. And the way it looks, it's not too bad. I mean, it's not HD, beautiful, colorful graphics, but it does have a nice little cartoony feel to it. And it was themed decently. The levels are pretty well designed. There's shortcuts and a lot of detail in some of them. As you're driving by, you'll see like obstacles in the way. There's like weird crates and carts and different things that you can run into. So there was a fair amount of, I guess, effort in making it a true 3D kart racing game. So you do gotta applaud that. Now, is it worth the price? $9.99 ain't gonna break the bank, in my opinion, for a title like this. Do not go in expecting something to compete with Mario Kart. This is an alternative, but in my opinion, it's not even close. It's like Dr. Pepper and Dr. Thunder. Like Dr. Pepper brand, Walmart brand. There's no comparison at all. But compared to other kart racers I've seen in the past, like Hello Kitty Racing, M&M's Racing, even Crash Racing, this ain't too bad. $10, I would say go ahead and try it out. You might be surprised. I actually enjoyed it a little bit more. I'm not saying this is one of my top Switch games, but it's not bad. So it's not bad for $9.99 is basically where I'm getting at. It's a low budget indie title kart racing game, and there's not too many of them out there on the Nintendo Switch. Something like this might be perfect if you have kids, or you have a kid that's looking for something to play that might occupy the time. It runs pretty good. Frame rate is at a constant 60 frames per second. As I mentioned, each racer has its own special skill. There's customizing. There's a lot of replayability with trying to get a better ranking in these levels. Unfortunately, there's no online mode. And you can play local multiplayer for up to 4 people. So there's some options there for you. For $9.99, I mean, it offers a lot more than some games that are actually higher priced in the eShop. It might tickle your fancy. And well, guys, that's it for today's review. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and that like. It gets me off. And comment below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.